When you demo a tennis racket, hi, I'm Coach Joseph Correa, and today I want to talk about how to demo a tennis racket. So first of all, when you go to the store, a tennis store, you can ask them if you can demo a racket, which means you're going to borrow a tennis racket for a specific time frame, and you're going to leave your credit card on hand so that you return that racket, and they're going to give you 1, 2, or 3 or whatever amount of rackets you're allowed to take, and then you can test these rackets. Now, how do you test these rackets? So when you're checking out or you're testing a racket, you want to check 4 things. Number 1, you want to check to see if the racket has spin. So you're going to try to hit a few balls with spin and see if the ball has spin. Next, you want to try to see if the ball has power, if the racket has power. After that, you're going to go ahead and check feel, because you want to make sure that when you need to hit drop shots or you need to hit soft volleys, you can do that, because some rackets simply aren't good for those things. And number 4, you want to go ahead and check to see any pain tolerance. When you hit with one racket, do you feel a little bit of a pinch on your arm? But it hits great, but you feel a little bit of pinch on your, either on your elbow, your wrist, your shoulder, it doesn't feel right, then that's another factor. A lot of people don't take that into account. They just buy the racket because they're playing great with it. But in the end, you also have to take into account that when you play for a longer time period, either you're gonna feel that pain more intense, or it's either gonna go away, or you're gonna go ahead and cause a permanent damage to that part of your body. So let's get started demoing rackets. So for example, when you demo a racket, how would you demo that racket? So you're gonna go ahead and either self-feed yourself or have somebody feed it to you, or you're gonna hit with somebody else, and you're gonna go ahead and start with some spin first. So you're gonna hit the ball up, and what you wanna check out is the ball bouncing and going up when you're making contact, when you're spinning the ball, or is the ball simply going forward, or is the ball simply bouncing normal, which means it's not taking any spin when you hit the ball. So that's how you're gonna go ahead and compare when it comes to spin. Next, when it comes to power. So for example, when you hit the ball, especially on the serve, when you make contact with the serve, you're gonna check out the distance from where the ball bounces to the back fence. If the ball bounces twice or 3 times before it reaches the back fence, then you might want to choose a different racket that might get that ball to bounce down and then all the way out as far as possible towards the back fence, because that means the ball has more pace and more power. So that's something very important you take into account. Also, when you hit balls with power, so for example, if you're checking out your forehand and you want to see if that ball is going to take off when you make contact with the ball, you also want to check out the same exact thing. You want to see when the ball bounces, did the distance go further when the ball bounced on the court, on the other side of the court? Did it go further, or did it bounce and land short? And then test different rackets. See which one allows you to get more distance, because that means you're getting more power and more pace, which is going to make your opponent have a harder time reaching balls. So same thing for the forehand, out in front. And then you're going to go ahead and see just how far that ball bounces. If the ball bounces and doesn't go very far, then you know that might not be the right racket. Next, volleys. So when you go to do volleys, what you want to do is this. When you make contact with the ball, does the racket tremble or vibrate when you make contact? If you play a lot of doubles, you don't want a racket like that. You want a racket that's kind of solid, that doesn't wiggle and wobble in your hand, that stays sturdy, and that when you make contact, you're able to place the ball where you want it. So on the volleys, you want to focus on placement. So what I suggest is when you do volleys, when you're using the demo racket, try to aim at the middle center court line. If you're able to get close to that line or hit near that line, it means that racket is very precise. If you're trying to aim at that middle line and it's going to the baseline, it means you have power but no precision. So that might be a good racket for serves, but not necessarily for volleys. Now, when you choose a racket, when you're demoing rackets, make sure you use the time to find the racket that's right for your specific purpose. Are you hitting from the baseline? Are you hitting from the net more often? Are you focused on having a good serve? Are you simply just trying to get rid of any injury that you might have and you're trying to racket that doesn't cause any pain when you go to hit? So these are all important factors that you need to take into account when you're demoing a racket. Don't forget to return that racket. And if you didn't like those rackets, don't worry. Go back to the store, ask them for a new set of rackets. test out different rackets. You never know which one's gonna be right for you. Sometimes it's a Babolat, sometimes a Wilson, sometimes it's a Prince, sometimes a Yonex, Dunlop. There's so many rackets out there, and the racket weights are different, the grip sizes are different, and that can make a huge difference in your game. So make sure to take the time to demo as many rackets as you need to until you find the right one. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you subscribe, so make sure you click on the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you were happy with this video, if you enjoyed it, so that others can enjoy this video as well. And I'll see you in another one of my lessons. Thank you.